Okay, so first things first, while you've been resting, I've been out looking for a weapon for you. So wait 1 second. Now, what you might have seen on TV in time not so long ago, the so-called zombies seemed quite easy to dispatch. Slow. Just give them a whack on the head and they just fall over and die. But in this reality, it's not so easy. Alright, so one of the best weapons is a good old donger. So, the hammer's one of the best weapons you can get. You want a bludgeoning instrument to bludgeon the head. The only way to kill them is like the TV shows. You need to sever the spinal cord, or you need to crush the skull, damage the brain. So basically, you got a pretty decent target to hit, the heads. And they're not real evasive. They pretty much come straight forward for you. But the problem with these is they have a claw on them. So the hammers that are best are the ones that just have a round end and a flat end. Because when you try and pull it back, it doesn't get stuck so easy. These have a tendency to get caught up, and you pull it back and you pull the zombie closer to you. That's where a quick elbow helps to push him away. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to start to get some armor for you. Another thing those TV shows didn't really portray very well is that you really want armor in this world. And you can use anything that you want to improvise. Let me get rid of this. So that is your first weapon. A simple claw hammer. They're readily available, and you can find them in most people's garages and sheds and stuff like that. So they're pretty easy to find. So that's a #1 style of weapon to go for. Sledgehammer. A sledgehammer is much more destructive, and if you get a half hit on a head, you're going to take the zombie out. But they're very heavy and they're very slow to wield, so you have to be strong. So generally would only give a sledgehammer to a larger man. Me, myself, I prefer the hand axe. I find it quite a versatile weapon, and it does significant damage to the skull area. So a couple of spots that you want to go for is just, the front of the head's quite strong. So if you can get a shot on the side, you go for it. So a similar, or a type of technique that I'd recommend is to use a slashing motion with the hammer, down and across. So I'll teach you 5 simple techniques taught to me long ago from weapons training. Simply down across, from the shoulder down, but you're wanting to go for the head. Across. And also we want to try and go for a side to side strike. Normally this strike would be lower on a body, but we're going to kind of improvise now that we're fighting zombies. So you want to try and swing across, try and aim for the side of the head. Side of the head will cave in much easier than the front of the head. The front of the head's quite strong, quite tough. So I would strongly recommend, if you can, going for the side of the head. And the back of the head's a really great spot to go for. So, if you're not surrounded by zombies, use your speed. You look like you're light on your feet. So I'd recommend a little side step and a quick whack on the back of the head. We'll usually dispatch the zombies about 50% of the time, I would guess. And by giving them one hit, you know, you'll line yourself up for a second hit, or, you know, push them over onto the ground and dong them on the back of the head. It's a pretty good trick. I wouldn't recommend bladed weapons unless you're confident in using them. For me personally, you know, I'll try and drive a dagger up or directly into the eyeball sockets. But I wouldn't recommend you do that unless you're confident, and you also need quite a strong blade to do that. So we'll find you a blade soon. So there are a couple of simple techniques that you need to learn to be able to defend yourself, because you're going to need to defend yourself, and follow my commands at all time. Do you understand? Okay. Second, let's look at you and just check out a little bit of your armor. Done a pretty good job to survive this long. I can see why. You know, you've been pretty clever to actually use duct tape to make yourself an armor. So, you know, you've done a pretty good job there. Wearing denim and duct taping yourself up is a pretty effective way to defend against their bites. So you are a survivor. You don't have to worry about the airborne strain. But if you're bitten, there ain't no coming back. You understand that, don't you? So, you know, you can use anything at all for armor. Another great thing to use is the lid of a trash can. You know, you can rig up something to hold it onto your arm, and it gives you a very easy makeshift shield, and it gives you that option to push them back, dong. Push them back, dong. And also, don't forget, you can use the hammer to push them back as well. So I think one of your best offensive strategies would be to use your speed. You look quite light on your feet. So one of your objectives is to use your footwork and your speed to try and move around them. You know, push them out of the way, give them a dong. Push them out of the way, go around behind them. You know, this is going to be one of your best tactics. Oh, The Walking Dead. I used to watch The Walking Dead back in a time past. And, you know, they kind of make it look easy. You know, chop the head off, stick a knife in their head, stomp them. It's not easy to kill the zombies with one hit. You really need to take them down, make them prone, and then put a big hit. So, you know, when you're going for them, don't use all of your strength and try and crush the skull in that first hit, because you know, it's unlikely you're gonna get it. You need to sort of use a little bit of technique, move around them, use your footwork to move around them. They're going to come straight forward at you. They're going to have their arms out. So just be aware that if you try and go a side strike, it's possible their arms are going to deflect it. But if you can move to the side, whack. Move to the side, reverse strike, whack. These are some of the techniques that you need to practice to start with. Just keep it simple. We'll see if we can find you a trash can or something to use as like a shield. But I think we need to improve some of your armor. Motorbike helmets are actually really effective. Nothing's getting through a full face motorbike helmet, but it leaves you a little bit prone in that you lose a lot of your vision and your hearing is degraded, and also you have a big heavy thing on your head, so you lose a little bit of your movement. But they are great as a piece of armor. You can find them almost anywhere, and they're great. So I think what we need to do is find you a leather jacket, maybe use some metal or something. Maybe we cut up a trash can and we try and tape up some metal along your arms, on your shoulders and things like that, to try and create a more practical piece of armor for you. So we'll keep it light, keep it so you're free flowing, and we'll keep your speed and your movement to be your main weapon against them. You understand? I understand that you're scared. Fear is a good thing. It keeps you alive. But you need to be confident in your ability. So you need experience. How many zombies have you killed? None. You've been running. Yeah, I can see you can move quick. So just remember, that is your most effective weapon, but no more running. Not unless, they're coming for you, but if you're facing just a couple of zombies with me, you stand and fight. Gain the confidence that you need to survive this new world. Okay, so now that we've gone over some of the ways that you can defend yourself in a more practical situation, tell me, what skills do you have from the previous world that we may be able to use? You say nothing. You've got strong legs. How did you get those? Ah, interesting. So you are strong. You have endurance. You have strength and constitution. You can run for a long time, can't you? You've been running the whole time. Well, that running stops now. Alright, so let's analyse this situation a little bit closer. What did you do in your previous life? You studied. Did you study anything? Medical? You weren't involved in the army or military? You were studying hotel management. Okay, so in this world, that's not going to do you any good. Tell me, what type of hobbies or interests do you have? No, seriously, any hobby or interest that you have, maybe. It just might be something that can be useful in this world. You're into computers. Lots of people are into computers. Did you have any other skills, interests? You're part of the dark web. Never really heard of the dark web before. I think that's that place where the Silk Road, where people... Yeah. You weren't part of that? No. What were you part of? Really? You liked hacking? What type of stuff did you hack? Interesting. So it wasn't just mere chance that I found you. No. Our paths were meant to cross. Oh, most definitely. In time, all will be revealed. But first of all, I try to gather tech. And certain tech is real simple to find. Other tech is a little bit harder. So for tech to work, we need power. So, where I can, I'll try and find some solar panels. Do you have any background at all with electrical engineering? No. Hacking. So tell me, what would you need if you were to hack a satellite? Sorry, can you say that again? You need an old Dell workstation laptop. And why is that so? Interesting. You say that the hardware inside the older computers they don't have it? Okay. So they make it untraceable or easier? Hard to explain. Alright. So you need an old laptop, workstation laptop. Okay. Alright, well that complicates things a little bit. Any ideas on where to find it? Oh. Old government buildings. Okay. Not old buildings, but where the government hasn't upgraded their hardware for a while. Okay, well that's doable. What else do you need? Yes, I know you need power. I can supply power to charge a laptop. That's something I can do. I have the tech for that. What else? You need a satellite uplink. What about all the satellite dishes on the roof? Okay, so what is it? So you're saying you might be able to find a laptop and the satellite uplink hardware at the same location. So it sounds like you've looked into this before. Do you have any locations in mind where we might find this type of tech? Really? Okay, so we'll check on the map where that is exactly, and we'll just see what it takes to get to a place like that. You want to know why? That's a question that you will have to wait to answer. I'll need to see how well you perform in the field. This is no longer a walk in the park. This is war. We fight for the survival of the human race. We fight for the survivors. We are survivors. It is our job to survive. Alright, let's go. Let's start. Let's go find the hardware we need.